Today we are continuing from my last tutorial where we had talked about how to add louvers to a window. So let's get started. Here is a quick project. It's like a hole, and let's see. We add a window quickly. Window. Let me load Familly. So we're going to use the native window families, the families that comes with Autodesk Revit. In this case, I'm using Autodesk Revit 2021. So let me load this family. Open, and then OK. I load it there. This window by default it looks like this. Let me go to realistic and fine. By default this is how it looks. Now I would like to have the top part having louvers, so I'm going to double click on it and go to the Familly editor so that we can make changes to it. So here is our window family. This is a native Revit window family. It comes with the Revit, Autodesk Revit 2021. So in this case, I want to change this top part into louvers. So the way I'll go about that is to delete this middle section, bring these other parts down. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm going to go to the elevations. I go to exterior elevation. Now in my exterior elevation, I'll click this section, double click it again, and then I'll align it to the top of this part. Remove constraints, then I'll lock the alignment. Okay, confirm that. Okay, confirm that. Go to this side, double click, alignment, click the top, this reference line, align, remove constraint. I lock that, I confirm. Then so far this is where we are. Remaining the glasses. Go to the glasses, the glass section. I select the glass section. Then I go to the handles. This glass section was created using extrusions. So looking up here, I see the handle for the extrusion. When I move it down to align it to this top part of the frame, I remove the constraint, then I lock it. When you go back to this view, you see, yeah, we're getting somewhere. Then I want to delete this middle part, this glass section, with my hovering my cursor over this section. I see it's not directly clickable, but when I hold on the tab key, it will transform to other points of selections. So now I can select it, then I delete it. Then next I want to bring these frames down to line with this top. In my exterior view, I hold this handle for the extrusions of these frames. I drag it down to align it. I remove constraints and then lock it. And when we view, now we have this. Beautiful. So next, I want this section to also be down this side so that it matches these other windows. Now how we'll go about that is with that selected, I'll copy it, then I'll paste it in the same place so that we have two versions of the same part. Now with one of them selected, I drag these handles, drag this extrusion handle and lock it down here, then drag the top part and lock it here as well. Then I want to lock it also in the sides, so I zoom in, I move the handle, move it away, then back, lock it, come to this side, zoom it away, then back, then lock it. Now when we go to this other view, this is our window. So this is how far we have come. I want to test to see if the window is still parametric. So I go into that family editor, family type editor, where the parameters are. The window width, I'm going to try to reduce it down to 1.2. Apply. Well, that's fine. Then I go into the height. The height, let me try to go with 1.5. And it's fine. It's fine. Okay, I'll take it back to 1.2, and that's 1.2, 1.2. Okay. Okay. Now this is where we have reached. So far so good. Now I'm going to have to add in my louvers. Now to add in the louvers, we'll go to one of either the left or the right view. I will choose the left view. Now in the left view, zoom in. I zoom in. Yeah. So here we are. Now here, I'll draw my louvers starting from this section, coming downwards this way. We go to create extrusion, and our extrusion, this is the exterior part. As you can see, this is the exterior part, meaning that we want our louvers to be slanting towards this side. I zoom in again. Sorry about my mouse, it zooms pretty slow, but I will get along. Okay, so here we are. I'll start from here. I'm aligning it to this line. Don't wonder how I'm coming to these decisions. I did it before. Simply I did it before. So okay, this is what worked for me. I'll come to this point. I'm trying to align it to this point. Here I click this and then drag downwards up to around this point. Here I'm going for an angle of 135, in that, if we pick our calculator, here is our calculator. When you subtract 180 minus 135, you get 45. So I'm looking at drawing it at a 45-degree angle. So the angle opposite of that will be 135. Okay, let's proceed. 135. I click perm. Slope down. 15 millimeters down. Up. We're simply giving our louver some thickness. Up and around here. And that. If you feel it's too thick, simply click on that, and using the arrow keys, the right arrow key, reduce its thickness to what is quite suitable for you. Reduce this thickness as well. Okay. I think that is fine. Okay, that looks fine. Then we confirm. When you go to this view, this is our louvers drawn into place. So here I want it to align to this part and to this part. We'll simply use the handles of the extrusion. We go to our exterior view. Then I move this to that. I lock it in place. I move this handle to this point. I lock it in place. And when we go back to this view, you can see our louver is placed correctly. We can test it out to see if it's zooming in, and if we can test it out to see if we scale the window up and down, it corresponds correctly, if it's parametric. So let's try a width of 1.5 meters, and yep, it's working right. Next we're gonna try we're going to try to alter the height 1.5, apply, and right, yeah, it's moving with the window. Okay, so we can proceed. I'm gonna take it back to 1.2. Okay, so at this point we have our first louver in position. So now all we have to do is to copy this louver a couple of times downwards to fill this gap. Now how we'll go about that, I'll go back to this exterior view, select this first louver, then I go to copy and make sure multiple is selected. Then I choose a point. I'll choose this point. Then I move my louver and try to align it with that point. I move it downwards, copy, move it downwards, I'm trying to align with that point. Okay, we have copied it a couple of times. If we check through, we see we have copied it a couple of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 times. But we have a small space that is left. We could space the louvers further, or we could add a frame section to hold this part of the window to this part of the window. Let me first check through our spacing to make sure to make sure that we have them spaced correctly. So I'll go into this view, and we have that. I go into the left view. I see I'm trying to establish whether I could move this down to make the spacing better. But from what I see, I think the spacing is right. So what we shall do, when you go back to this view, we shall just add a framing that will hold this part to this part. Now to do that, we'll go to the left view again, and simply we'll create an extrusion. Create extrusion, and we shall draw an extrusion from here to here, to here. All right, and we're going to flash it with the level of the louvers. So we'll draw from here, from this point to that, connect to that, connect to that, and bam. Go back to this view, and there we are. So to get that to be parametric, we'll go to this exterior view, move this handle to this point, lock it in position, move this to that point, and then lock it into position. Depth. We'll go back to this view, and there we are. Okay. Yep. That is looking fine. So all we have to do is have to assign the same materials that are on the window frames to these louvers. So we'll select our window frame, go into the parameters for the family parameters. The frame material is metal aluminum. I'm going to copy that. When you copy that, we select one of the louvers, go into materials and paste that, apply, and select the rest. And apply the same material. So now here we are, our window. Now next, we're going to test again to see if the window is still parametric. So I go to properties, the parameters, we'll test the width, 1.5, apply. You see that these ones are being left behind because they did not get locked, aligned and locked to these directions, the frame. So while it's still at 1.5 meters, I'll select each of them independently, move, lock it, this, move, lock it, this, move, lock it, this, move it, lock it, this, move, lock it, come to this side, then we simply do the same. Sorry about my mouse. Lock it, this into position, lock it, this, move into that position, lock it, this, move into position, lock it, and this, move into position, and lock it. Then we go back to this view. It looks fine, so we're going to test. We go with 1.8. Okay, and we see that our window scales correctly. We can push it back to 1.2. We try the height. The height will go with 1.5 to test if it scales correctly upwards. But when we go into the height, we see that we get a problem. There's a gap being created. Now, to fix this problem, we'll take it back. We'll undo that change. Take it back to 1.2. 1.2. Apply. Then we look into the parameters of this family. When you scroll down in the parameters, there's the part that is named transform height, 360 millimeters. Then the formula is transform height ratio times height. Now this is what we want to change. I want my transform height to be fixed. So to fix that problem, I'll delete this formula. I delete that formula. So my transform height will remain at 360 millimeters. Because I want my transform height to remain the same, irrespective of the height of my window. So now when you confirm that and then you go and test your window, go to height. We go with 1.5 meters. 1.5 meters. Apply. Okay. Now when you look at the window, you see it scales up, but there's no gap, so meaning we have fixed that problem. Now we can take it back to our 1.2. Now our window is fully parametric. Ready for use in different projects. This is how it looks from the inside, then this is the outside. Okay, we've come to the end of our tutorial. Thanks for watching, but please do remember to subscribe, like and share.